Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I wanted to throw a quick video together breaking down all of Mezco Con 2023 for the 112 Collective line. Now they had a lot of stuff on display, so let's go ahead and check it out. So as for the con exclusive that you could pick up there at the show, they did have the new Wolverine, which I do love. I love that suit so much. They also had the Void Wars Gomez, which I think is really cool. You had the option to buy it without the mech suit. Now, I know that was a big issue for a lot of people, as it's a giant piece, and it was very expensive, but if you just wanted the Gomez figure, you had the opportunity there at the show. And of course, one of my favorite ones, you had the opportunity to buy the new Green Ranger figure, which I absolutely love. Cannot wait to get that thing in my hands. Now, they also had a ton of figures that we knew were coming. It was just really cool to see them in person. Things like that Bartholomew Vex, we've been asking about that for quite some time when that figure is going to release, because I know a lot of us are hyped for that particular guy. We also had a bunch of Marvel figures, starting off with the Amazing Spider-Man. I know that's going to be a really cool upgrade to that first Spider-Man that Mezco released all those years ago. I'm really hyped about that one. We're also going to be getting that vintage Green Goblin, which is going to be very cool. Again, very classic look, very Mego-ish. I love it. I think it's going to be a very cool release. We're also going to get the Vampire Morbius. I'm not a giant Morbius fan. I really did not like that movie, but this figure looks fantastic. A little bit of Mezco fight with that. I love that a lot. We're also going to be getting the Silver Centurion Iron Man, which is really cool. I really love the old Mezco Iron Mans. I think they're so fantastic. I think it's really cool that they're giving us a Silver Centurion. Fingers crossed for a War Machine in the future. But we also got in-hand images of the new Fantastic Four set, which looks incredible, man. That thing looks so cool, and the extended pieces for Mr. Fantastic looks fantastic. I cannot wait for that. And then, of course, it goes side by side with those. We are getting Dr. Doom. So again, seeing this in person is just great. They also had on display some of the new Dick Tracy figures, which I am a giant fan. I've loved Dick Tracy since I was a kid, so it's really cool that Mezco is giving us awesome figures of those characters, again, like Dick Tracy. We also had Flat Top on display, seeing a whole bunch of his accessories there, which is very, very cool. Such a great looking design. They even had Prune Face on display, going again ham with that machine gun, and all those really cool accessories around him. I'm just so hyped for this line. I hope we get a lot more characters from the whole Dick Tracy universe. They also had Solomon Kane on display, which I'm really hyped about. I think this is going to be a very underrated figure, and I think once people get him in hand, I think people are going to love him, and people are going to go crazy for him, looking for him in the aftermarket. So, keep an eye on that guy. I think the figure looks amazing. They also had the Shadow on display, which is another character that I grew up as a kid, and I just loved it. And it's really cool that Mezco is giving us a really awesome figure of the Shadow, so that's really cool. But then we had a variant of Sod Cutter, which is going to be really cool. So we know we're going to be getting different colorways of those, zombie-like characters from that new line of the Gangrene Estates. So that's going to be very fun as well. They also had the new Indiana Jones on display, which I am so hyped about. This thing just recently went on pre-order, so I hope you got yours. I'm personally excited for this piece. This is the Indiana Jones figure I've been waiting for quite some time. But then they kind of shocked us by showing another Cairo edition Indiana Jones, which is very cool, done in all those robes, wrappings and robes and things like that, which is very cool. But then we're also getting Major Tot, which is pretty surprising because I don't think any of us realized that they were going to be doing a whole Indiana Jones world building with these figures. I kind of think we all thought that we were going to get the one Indy and that was it, a one and done type of thing, but we're getting more characters and more variants from that world, so that's very cool. Now, they also had the Lord of Tears on display, which I know a lot of people are going to be sleeping on, which I totally understand. Very obscure indie film, which was very weird, but again, I get it. But I think it's going to look really cool next to characters like Nosferatu and Bartholomew Vex. That's where I'm going to put him on my shelf, so I'm really hyped about that one. And then they also had some of the G.I. Joes on display, like Roadblock here, looking super jacked and super badass. I cannot wait for these. If you have the Destro figure, you're going to know how much freaking awesome the G.I. Joe Mezco figures are, because I love that piece, so I'm really hyped for all of these. They also had Storm Shadow, which looks so badass, man. Give me more ninjas. I think that guy looks great. They also had the Snake Eyes in Timber set, which looks really cool in that dynamic pose on the stand, looking freaking awesome. They had Firefly there. I wish they had some of his accessories on display, but he was pretty just bare, just standing there on the shelf, but he still looked very, very cool. And then they had, again, an image of Duke, no accessories around him, just the figure itself, again, still looking very, very awesome. They also had the Ninja Turtles out on display. Now, this is awesome, man, because these are kind of their own comic book version that Mezco has done, which is super cool because, man, these things look incredible. The detailing on their shells and in their skin, the texturing on their, fabric wraps and their headbands and things like that are pretty amazing. So I just absolutely love seeing these turtles. I'm picking myself up a couple sets, so I am so hyped for these. So when you were picking up your exclusive Green Ranger there at the show, they also had the other 5 Rangers on display, which were looking very cool, man. I love the Power Rangers so much. I do have a few of the 3/0 12-inch scale figures, which are really nice. I do love those a lot, but they're a little too big for me. I don't really collect that scale. So seeing these are just so awesome. I love, again, the spandex suits, the fabric, the shiny glossy helmets, all look really rad. So I'm super hyped about these, and I cannot wait to pick up all of the Rangers. So moving on to some of the DC stuff that we were able to see on the shelves here, we have Gotham by Gaslight seeing all his really rad accessories, especially those wings, which look so freaking cool. So this is really interesting to see. We've had Gotham by Gaslight Joker out for quite some time now. We really need this Batman to display next to that Joker. We're finally able to see Robin in hand, which is very cool as well. A lot of us thought we would never get a Robin, but here we are with a Damian Wayne, which is really cool. And hopefully down the line we get to see other versions of Robin, like a Tim Drake or a Dick Grayson, all that kind of stuff. Give me all the Robins, I want all of them. We also had the black suit Superman on display as well. I'm going to be very curious as to what type of material they're going to be using for this. If any of you have the black suit Spider-Man figure from Mezco, I wonder if it's going to be something similar to that, as that's kind of what it looks like, so we will see when that releases. They also had the 3-pack Justice League figures, which I'm so stoked that we're actually getting, because things like that Flash were shown years ago, then it got canceled, then it got revitalized because of this 3-pack, so I am so stoked about these. Of course, give me another Batman, and then give me that Justice League movie version of the black suit, which again, I think is very cool, so super hyped about those. Cannot wait to pick up all 3 figures. Now, moving on to reveals, they gave us a White Ranger, which I'm super stoked about, man. And RIP JDF, for some reason, Jason David Frank's death hit me very, very hard. So I really miss that guy. And I'm not really big into like celebrity deaths. A lot of them don't really bother me, but something special about JDF really hit me. So I was just very happy to see this figure. And again, he's going to go great side by side with your other Rangers. And hey, fingers crossed, if they ever want to give us other Mezco Ranger teams, I'm all about that. Moving on to more reveals, we're getting a Nightwing. Now, much like Robin, a lot of us have been wondering, when are they going to start building out the Bat family? We have 100 different Batmans from Mezco, but none of the Bat family. So now that we have a Robin, much like I said, I want a Dick Grayson, we're getting him in a Nightwing version, which is super cool because that suit looks incredible, very Mezco-fied. I'm really curious to see what kind of accessories he's going to come with. I'm hoping the articulation is awesome, but more Bat family, like I would love a Batgirl, maybe even a Oracle version. I would love a Red Hood, would be so perfect for Mezco. And to be honest, I would even love an Alfred. I think that would be so rad. Next up, we're getting The Mask, the comic book version. Now, I know an indie company just made the Jim Carrey movie version recently, which is pretty cool, but I always love how dark and gritty and kind of rated R the comic book mask was, so I'm really interested to see what kind of accessories and maybe alternate head sculpts. This is one of those figures that could use like 6 or 7 different head sculpts, just very expressive, so I'm really hyped about this, and again, hopefully we get other variants of the mask and other characters from that particular world. Now, the last reveal of the convention, something that I did not see coming, we're getting a Casey Jones to go along with our Ninja Turtles. Now, just before the con, I kind of predicted that we would get a 112 Collective Shredder, which I still want to see, and I still fingers crossed that I hope we get. But holy crap, I love that we're getting a Casey freaking Jones, man. Is that a Jose Canseco bat? Tell me you didn't pay money for this. But still, this is such a badass piece. I cannot wait to see all the things that he comes with. This is so awesome. Definitely my favorite reveal of the show from Mezco. Give me more TMNT figures on the line. I'll take all of them. So go ahead and drop a comment down below letting me know what your favorite reveal or figure on display at the show was. It was kind of a slow year last year in 2022, but in this year they've been really ramping things up with releases, so that's a good sign for things to come. It is kind of a waiting game with Mezco, so be patient out there, folks. Be patient. We will all get our toys. But still, I love everything that they've been showing us, especially things like the G.I. Joes, the new Ninja Turtles, all that kind of stuff looks so freaking rad. But still, don't forget to be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.